It's a number that has some Houston City Council members outraged. $250,000. That's how much city leaders say the fire department spent on overtime for one day last fall after dozens of firefighters took the same day off to go deer hunting. The news comes soon after council members learned HFD is expected to be $8 million over budget this year because of all the overtime. But the firefighters union says the department is understaffed by about 500 firefighters, and they have no choice but to use the overtime to make sure the trucks are properly staffed. So who is at fault here, and what should the city do to ensure the department isn't going over its overtime budget? That's our topic this half hour. We want to hear from you. You can share your thoughts on our Fox 26 Facebook page. You can also send me a tweet at Sally Mack, Fox 26. I'm reading those throughout the segment. In our newsroom, we have our legal analyst, Chris Tritico, news analyst, Mustafa Tamiz, and public policy analyst, Jackie Bally. All right, what do you guys think about this?
You know, this is such an interesting story. This started because we pointed out here on Fox 26 that they spent $250,000 on the opening day of deer season because so many firefighters wanted to go blow a deer into oblivion that they weren't understaffed. But isn't that a problem that really rests with the upper management at the fire department? You know, at my law firm, when somebody wants to take a day off and that would leave us understaffed, I say no. Jackie Bally, you can't take the day off because we don't have enough people. It seems like a staffing issue in the management department at HFD.
You make deer hunting sound so bad.
Well, you feed a deer all year long, then you kill it in one day.
I think the fact that there are 500 vacancies, I mean, the story that we saw, they said that there are 500 unfilled positions. I think that's a serious problem because if these gentlemen did not respond, if they did not work overtime, then you would hear another.
You got to have a fireman. You got to have a
cry.
fireman at the station, no question.
It is a problem. A manager is supposed to look at his budget, and he's supposed to determine how many hours his staff can work, how many dollars will cover it. But they also should plan for the year ahead. So they should have known we have 500 vacancies. We're going to have to fill up that space somehow. People are going to have to work overtime.
It's two issues, isn't it? First, this one-day thing on the opening of deer season. I think the management at HFD could have fixed this easily by saying, you're not going. You're going to be at work this day. But this 500 open slots seems to be a city issue to me. I think the firefighters are probably right. The city council ought to be saying, let's hire 500 firefighters so we don't have to pay overtime.
Well, I'm not sure if it's 500 firefighters, and we'll get to know that. And as we heard from the news report, they want the fire chief to come testify in front of the city council, and so more information should come out. 2/3 of the city budget is public safety, police and fire. So it's a substantial part of our tax dollars. And the $250,000 for that day is an issue, but the larger issue is $28 million a year puts us out of budget. So
well, $8 million over.
8 million over, but I think the overall cost
right.
is what they're looking at 28 million. So I would say this is an important thing that we need more information on as taxpayers, and we need to understand. But again, 2/3 of the budget is public safety, so the other things that could be cut could be equally important.
All right, let's go to Sally. She's monitoring our social media accounts.
Yeah, we have a firefighter responding this morning, up early watching us. Frank says the mayor was setting HFD up by understaffing us. So when we do burn the overtime, we look like the villains. I have never gotten this much overtime in my 20-year career. I thought it was odd, but now I'm thinking differently. I'm sure HPD was totally financed. And then Catherine on my Twitter page says, if the city needs money, why is the mayor giving raises to her staff?
Wow. Wow.
Strong opinions this morning.
There are strong opinions this morning, and that was both of those were interesting comments. I don't think that the mayor's staff raises have anything to do with the Houston Fire Department issue, but I do think that the city could say, we're going to hire people so that we don't have this problem.
And that's why you get the strong opinions, because when we're talking about public safety and we're talking about people who generally come into a position like as a firefighter, they make on average around $40,000, and then they're risking their lives at times, and then we're attacking them for working overtime by trying to protect residents and citizens. That's the kind of reaction you're going to get.
Are we attacking the firefighters, or are we attacking the Houston Fire Department?
Well, I think it's neither, right? I mean, I think what we're doing is we're asking questions. We're trying to make better decisions as a city. And so if you're up in a single day $250,000 and millions of dollars you're off budget, then we're going to have to figure something out, because certainly the city doesn't have an ability to borrow money and pay this, so we're going to have to cut some things and in order to pay for this overtime.
What about this idea of the firefighter said that the mayor is attacking the Houston Fire Department and setting them up for failure? And it kind of plays back into our story from last week about the pension system.
Well, there's been a political tug of war between the fire department and the mayor going on since she was her first term, and you're going to continue to see that. And any time of conflict or issue, you're going to see one or the other side saying this is a political
Does this
problem.
have anything to do with the pension issue?
Well, I think firefighters are probably best served in trying to deal with this, you know, in a non-political rhetoric way, because if they amp up the rhetoric against the mayor, it's certainly not going to help them negotiate.
Not in a strong mayor city. They ought to be just saying, give us the 500 people and we won't have this problem anymore.
I think we're going to need to change, we're going to tone down the rhetoric in order to get to the bottom of this.
And you know, when, in a strong mayor city like Houston, if you make the mayor mad, that could be the end of your issue.
Well, that's why you've been seeing the tug of war going on between this department and the mayor.
We're going to leave it right there, Sally. We'll be back in a little bit with another really good topic.
All right, good discussion. Thanks, guys, as always. We appreciate it.